The thing is, in this economy right now, it's so complicated to have a no revenue business loan approved. Okay. But it is possible. There are companies, there are tens of hundreds of companies that are still getting approved, even if you have no revenue. The whole thing is about how do you package your whole application. And you got to follow what we call our formula for success that we have actually proven for the last 25 years to 30 years that really works all the time. So in today's conversation, I want to talk to you about no revenue business loan, no personal guarantee, fast approval, how to make it happen. But most importantly, I want to talk to you about what you must absolutely know before applying for any business loan so you can be approved automatically or immediately. So there are a lot of questions that lenders are asking you, but I want to also show you today the top questions to ask a lender before applying for a small business loan so that you always get approved. Number one, what kind of loan or credit do you recommend for my business needs? See, the whole thing is a lot of entrepreneurs, they go and apply for a business loan without asking the lender first what the lender thinks, what kind of business loan the lender thinks is suitable for their business. See, if you were to reverse engineer the scenario, you will realize that you'll get approved a lot faster. You know why? Because if you ask a lender to suggest a business loan that he or she himself is providing, that means that the lender already has done the homework for you and realizes that your business is suitable for a line of credit versus a term loan. So when you are ready to apply for real, your chances of being approved are even higher. Okay, so this is the kind of reverse engineering I want you to really think about. By the way, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. We love having conversations every now and then about important business loan topics, okay? So the first question is, what kind of loan or credit do you recommend for my business needs? Number two, can I apply for a small business loan online? See, the whole thing is some lenders will say, yeah, you can apply online. Some will say, well, you want to go to our branch to sit with a loan rep. Some will say, well, you can apply over the phone. So you have to be very clear about what really works for you, okay? And it's all about convenience. It's all about capabilities. The thing is, when you apply for a business loan online, you have the advantage of having the soft pull, okay? So instead of having you can pre-qualify for a business loan. But if you were to go to a branch, sometimes it's just more complicated to have a soft pull at the branch. The third question that I want you to ask a lender is, what documents do I need to gather before I apply? Especially if you are trying to get a no revenue business loan, that means that you're going to have like a specific set of documents, okay? So be very clear. Be very clear when you talk to a lender and ask the lender about that question about the paperwork. Make sure that you are very clear about your specific situation first. Okay, because lenders have a constellation of conditions. They might say, well, we want you to have a financial statement. We want you to show us a business plan. We want you to show us your articles of organization. We want you to show us your articles of incorporation. We want you to show us this. We want you to show us that. Blah 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 blah. So you got to be clear about the documents that they need from you so that you can qualify for the loan, okay? And the best place to get that info is by asking the lender directly. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a convo about no revenue business loan, no personal guarantee, fast approval. What are the questions that you can ask a lender before applying so you can get approved right away, okay? The next question I want you to ask the lender is, how long does your lending process take from application to funding, if approved, of course? Because when you're asking that question, indirectly, you want to be clear about your expectations. You want to set your expectations reasonably, right? Because it's not about like if you need the money for something. Let's say you need the money to buy inventory, and you already promised the vendor that you get the funds to him or her in 2 months, and it's taking you forever to be approved. This is not really good from a reputational perspective, but also from an operational perspective. So ask the lender point blank, how long does it take? Do you guys approve it in 5 days or 2 weeks or 2 years? Talk to me about that. Be clear with me, okay? So, and this is assuming that I give you all the paperwork you're asking. I give you all. I really fulfilled all the criteria that you want me to fulfill. How long does it take? And please be honest with me. So it's one of those conversations that a lot of borrowers do not want to engage in, right? They'll just like, yeah, we don't want to, we don't know. Like, we just want to apply, blah, 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 for a business loan and hope, I want to hope to be approved. No, no, no. We're not sitting here just hoping. We're sitting here being proactive. We're taking actions, boss. The next question I want you to ask the lender is, what are typical rates and closing fees for my type of loan, especially if you are looking for a no revenue business loan, no personal guarantee, fast approval, okay? Because rates are different, closing fees are different, okay? If you're applying for a no revenue business loan, given that the lender sees a high risk here, they might charge you more. Okay, so be very clear about the rates. Are we talking about like 2 digits or 3 digits? Oh yeah. There are some lenders that charge you like 100%. Now it's very rare though when we talk about no revenue business loan, but when you annualize what they're charging you on a weekly basis, you can very easily find lenders that actually charge you 100%. They just don't show it on an annual basis because everybody will be like, oh, what the F is going on here? So what they do is they will charge you like 3% every week or 4% every week. But again, when you annualize it, it's more than 100%. So when we talk about closing fees also, like you can have some admin fees. Some lenders will charge you like what they call file fees or application fees. Be sure that you are very comfortable with that too. And you want to ask them also, does the kind of loan you recommend come with any annual or one-time fees? Because some loans, especially no revenue business loans, no doc business loans, fast approval. If you're talking to an alternative lender, or you're talking to, let's say, an online lender, they might actually have fees. Okay, maybe they're charging you like 1% of the loan amount every year. So no matter what, the bottom line here is that you want to be sure that you are aware of those fees, that you're not really caught off guard. Like, it was so, like, imagine how pissed off you would be if you realize, like, after 1 year that they're still charging you, and then you go and ask them and they say, well, everything was in the paperwork, and then you forgot to read the fine prints. Think about how pissed you would be, right? So we are really trying to avoid that. That's why you're asking all questions up front, so that you have clear answers from the get-go. Another question you want to ask here is, are there ways I can lower or reduce the interest rate I may have to pay? Now, this could be a little difficult if you're asking for a no revenue business loan. However, it is possible if you have a high FICO score. If your credit score is high, even though your revenue is low, you could still qualify. Okay, and this is simply because of the law of risk and returns. Because the lender is thinking, okay, what do I have to lose here? Okay, this person has no revenue or has a loss. However, I'm able to compensate this risk through the high credit score. So this is one way to reduce the interest rate you have to pay. Another way to reduce the interest rate you have to pay is by collateralizing the loan. So basically, you pledge collateral, for example. Okay, so this is kind of cool because you're able to still have a relationship with the lender, but also like it's a win-win situation because they're winning, you're winning too. Okay, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're still having a conversation about no revenue business loan, no personal guarantee, fast approval. What are the key questions you should ask the lender so you can be approved real quick for this type of loan? Okay, and so you can ask them, is a personal guarantee required for the loan? Because see, remember, we're trying to have a no PG loan. So you want to ask them point blank, ask them specifically if a PG is required for this specific loan. Because this is not something that you should really play with. At the end of the day, you want to get a loan where your ass is not on the line. Something were to happen, at least you are off the hook. Okay. I mean, of course, I'm not saying that you should really do things like things intentionally so that you can be off the hook. But hey, listen, stuff happens. This business thing, nobody knows what happens. It can work one day, it can really fail the other day. And so if you are able to run your business for a while, you consider yourself grateful, okay? And the way you want to do things is you want to really make sure that you have a situation in place whereby you are constantly checking stuff to make sure that your personal assets are separate from your business assets. Okay, you need to have a clear divorce between your personal affairs and your business's affairs. No matter what, I really mean it. Like no matter what, you have to always make sure that you are preserving your personal assets. Okay, and also you want to have this corporate veil. You need to maintain this corporate veil and never get into a situation where you are piercing that corporate veil. Next thing I want you to really ask the lender is, do I get ongoing relationship management and support if my loan or business needs change? Again, remember, we're talking about no business loan or low doc loan, fast approval. So like today you're making today you're not making any revenue. But tomorrow, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, things could change. Your business could really pick up. Your business could really to go to the next level. And if you are the next level, then you really have to start asking yourself, am I getting the same level of support from my lender? Because at that point, you might need different types of support. You might need maybe a thorough, like a more granular sort of reporting. You might need some kind of help to sort of help you go to the next level. So ask this very important question. Now, big decision time, boss. Big decision time. Let me ask you a question. Do you currently have open, like outstanding business loans? If yes, do you have those loans with banks? Do you have them with alternative lenders? Do you have them with online lenders? Where do you have them at? Where do you have those loans at? Talk to me about that, because see, my follow-up question will be, or do you have a great relationship and a great ongoing relationship with those lenders? And how long have you had them? Okay, because the whole thing here is that when we talk about having a loan, you can have a loan right now, okay, and if everything is successful, you might want to actually have another loan. Like if let's say you were trying to expand your business and you realize that even though right now you don't have no revenue, you just sign up a great agreement with the one customer, and you know that this deal is going to transform your business. So you are going to go from no revenue to revenue all the time. Okay, so by doing that, you are able to increase your chances of getting to a next level, which is really, really important. And one thing I also want to say here is that you have to be in a situation where you have to ask yourself, am I asking for the right level of customer relationship management? Like, do I have, for example, a dedicated relationship advisor at my bank, at my credit union, somebody to really look into my affairs, my company's affairs, and always provide me with the best solutions, okay? Whatever I can have to bring my affairs to the next level. And also you want to ask your lender, what does your loan modification or renewal process look like? Now, this is a question that a lot of people don't want to ask, but it is important anyway. Because if you have no revenue now, who knows what will happen 1 year from now? Who knows what will happen 5 years from now? So it's always important to have this caveat, this qualifier in your mind to know, okay, listen, you are blessed today to have a business and to have a business that seems to work, but things might be different in the future, okay? So be very careful about asking questions, and because the thing is, we are now facing ups and downs in the economy. Stuff happens. Banks are closing down, okay? Companies are closing down. The stock market is going through its normal yo-yo, but people believe that it's just a one-of-a-kind yo-yo, okay? So what I'm trying to say here is, we live in the world of uncertainty. This was not the first time. This will not be the last time. But so in this environment, you always wanted to make sure that you understand what options you have. And loan modification or renewal is one of those. Because if you get a no revenue business loan, a low doc business loan, or any kind of loan, and you have to renew it or you have to modify because the economy is really low, you have to know like your rights, because you do have rights, okay, as a consumer or as a business borrower when it comes to loans in general, when it comes to your specific types of loans, okay. But everything depends on the lender, because every lender has its own sort of they have their own loan modification requirements or procedures. And please make sure that you really study those procedures very, very well, okay. So bottom line is, ups or downs in your industry and or business's financial circumstances may trigger a desire to change or review your current loan obligation with your lender. Okay, so it's always important to ask your lender what the process might look like for the type of a small business, loan that you are considering. So again, it's all about being prepared, okay, to know exactly what you're getting yourself into, especially if you are talking about no revenue business loan, no personal guarantee, or low doc. Then you need to know what kind of conditions you have to brace yourself against. The last thing I want you to really ask, the lender here is, are you an SBA Preferred Lender? Now you might be thinking, why am I asking that? Because there is no relationship between a no revenue business loan and SBA, right? Yes, but wrong. Why? Because no revenue business loan just means that you have not generated any revenue yet. But if you might qualify for other types of business loan, and the SBA loan might be one of those, okay? And the SBA loan is a government guaranteed loan, so your chances of qualifying are higher. At the same time, the conditions that the SBA is asking to guarantee a loan are kind of high too, okay? But those conditions are conditions that predominantly happen at the personal level. So if you're able to guarantee a few things at the personal level, then you're good to go, okay? And so when you ask the lender that question, you are trying to see whether or not they are a preferred lender and they will actually entertain your mortgage application. Okay, instead of just trying for a regular business loan and being denied over and over and over, you can say, you know what, now I want to try something else. Let me give you a few pro tips as you're trying to explore the SBA lending requirements. Chances are you're not going to qualify. You may not qualify if you have a no revenue business loan. You may not qualify for a regular SBA approved business loan. You might qualify for a personal loan though, and you can parlay that personal loan into a business loan. That's totally fine. This is really totally fine. And one thing I also want to talk about here is that you need to understand the relationship between the SBA loans, the regular business loan, and the other business credit requirements. So you have to understand the relationship between this and stuff like business lines of credit, stuff like business equipment financing, stuff like business it really depends. It really depends. It depends. Like for example, business source trading. Okay, so those are elements you need to pay attention to. And at the end of the day, you got to ask yourself, like when you ask those questions, you have to make sure that the answers, you chronicle them. You must store those answers in a very safe place, and you want to revisit those questions every now and then and see the answers that you are able to collect all over the weeks or months, okay? Because maybe you can apply it this time and you might not really get the loan that you wanted to have. Maybe next time you'll get the loan. So it's one of those things. It's a trial and error. It's just like it's a trials and errors, okay? And then you realize, hey, listen, I qualify for this, I don't qualify for this. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. Long story short, we actually talked to you today about no revenue business loan, no personal guarantee, fast approval. What questions should you ask the lender to get approved real fast? Thank you. God bless you. I'll speak to you another time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.